welcome to School of Graduate Studies Practitioners Forum 2024. So in our quest to meet the growing demands for middle and strategic level manpower needs in leadership and financial management for both the public and private sectors of Ghana, West Africa and beyond, UPSA in 2009 expanded its mandate with the establishment of the School of Graduate Studies. The foundation of the graduate school is based on the need to provide a higher level business education, responsive to societal needs, and prepare graduates to apply knowledge and skills creatively and critically for economic and social improvement. The school has expanded its number of programs from 15 to 20 at its inception in the year 2009. Within a space of 14 years, student enrollment has increased from 1,508 to 1,946, including international students from both Anglophone and Francophone countries. The UPSA School of Graduate Studies hosts an annual seminar series dubbed the Practitioners Forum, and is part of the curriculum for the award of MPhil, MSc, MBA degrees at the School of Graduate Studies. The theme for this year is Transformative Innovation for Corporate Excellence in Uncertain Times. We believe the insights from the carefully selected speakers, Mrs. Jacqueline Benyi, Managing Director, Enterprise Life Assurance Limited, and Madam Jibodi Kweku Doso, will prepare our practitioners for the next normal and for the next level, and of great value to business, including SMEs and public organizations. For this year, we hope that our graduating students will acquire a lot of skill and knowledge in our practitioners forum. We are beginning this evening, we'll end tomorrow afternoon. We expect all graduating students who intend to graduate this year to participate fully in the program.
To continue, and as already indicated, the theme very instructive, transformative innovation for corporate excellence in uncertain times. And to introduce the speaker for today's occasion, I have the singular honor to invite Samoko Tete, who is the coordinator for the leadership program. Let's welcome her with a round of applause.
Mrs. Jacqueline Benyi is a believer of life, being about creating yourself and not finding yourself. She is God-loving, ambitious, and a transformational leader with the objective of creating impact and long-term value. Prior to taking up the role of Managing Director at Enterprise Life in January 2016, Jackie worked in various units of the business. Being one of the very first employees of Enterprise Life Ghana, she rose through the ranks by dint of hard work. Her most notable footprints are setting up Enterprise Life's first branch in Tema, leading a team to set up customer service, quality assurance, corporate business, and sales operations department. Her passion for business excellence and operational effectiveness has driven the company through a continuous path of business remodeling and organizational restructuring, process efficiency, and the application of technology to drive positive customer experience and shareholder value. Her technical prowess in life insurance has been evident in Enterprise Life's product portfolio. Jackie has 23 years working experience in life insurance administration, with 22 years in various leadership positions. She holds a degree in economics and sociology and an MBA in finance from the University of Ghana, Legon. A chartered insurer and an associate of CII UK, she also has an advanced diploma in life and disability underwriting, and an advanced diploma in life and disability claims from the Assurance Medical Society of London. These qualifications currently make her the first and only professionally qualified life underwriter and life claims assessor in Ghana. People development is a key definition of Jackie's leadership. She has a deep passion for the employee experience and bringing it to bear in every facet of the job. This has ensured she has a highly engaged team, resulting in business productivity and continually making Enterprise Life the #1 life insurer in the industry. Jackie is a fellow at the Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana and serves in the Professional Standards and Ethics Committee. She has for 2 terms also served as a board member and member of the Life Council of the Ghana Insurers Association. She currently heads the Life Technical Committee for Claims and Underwriting. She successfully completed the full-year Senior Management Development Program at the University of Stellenbosch and the Executive Leadership Management Program at the Gordon Institute of Business Science, University of Pretoria, all in South Africa. She has in addition presented papers at local and international conferences, most recent being the 2023 WAICA AGM and Educational Conference in Lagos, Nigeria. Awards received include National Women in Finance Awards, Maiden Edition, Insurance Personality of the Year 2013. Nobles International Award, inducted into the West Africa Nobles Forum in 2016. 5th Feminine Ghana Achievement Award, awarded Best Achiever in Life Insurance in 2019. Ghana Insurance Awards Special Recognition Award, Woman of Excellence in 2018, and CEO of the Year Life category 2019. Ghana Industry CEO Awards organized by the Business Executive in 2020. Jacqueline was adjudged the Best Respected CEO. Ghana Insurance Awards. Ghana Insurance Awards awarded the Best Female CEO in 2020 and 2021. Ghana CEO Summit adjudged CEO of the Year Life Insurance category for 2019, 2021, and 2022. African Insurance Organization Professional Insurance Ladies Top 50 Women in Insurance Award. Ghana Finance Focus Forum and Awards 2023, Female CEO of the Year Insurance. 2024, celebrating 20 matriarchs in corporate Ghana. Outside the corporate world, Jackie has a passion for children and currently serves as a lady pastor at the Catch the Anointing Center at the UD Lighthouse Group. UD Lighthouse Group of Churches and a shepherd for the Church Sunday School. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we welcome Mrs. Jacqueline Benyi with a resounding round of applause. Thank you.
Please take your seats. In all humility. Giving honor to whom honor is due, even in their absence, I will still recognize them. So the Vice Chancellor, Professor Abednego Oko Amate, the Pro-Vice Chancellor, Professor Kweku Mauto, Dr. Mrs. Philomena Dazi, the Dean of Students Affairs, Professor Samuel Entry, Dean, School of Graduate Studies, Professor Raymond Jiwonu, Director, Doctoral Studies, Professor Emmanuel Asamoah, Dean, IT and Communication Studies, Professor Isaac Boedi, Dean, Accounting and Finance, Professor Fidelis Kwanzaa, Dean, Management Studies, Professor Ernest Kofi Abochi, Dean of UPSA Law School, And then Dr. Gladys Nabil, Coordinator, Distance Learning School. My colleagues from Enterprise who are here with me today, distinguished faculty and members of UPSA, and distinguished graduate students, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'd like to say a very big thank you to the leadership of this august institution for warmly welcoming and inviting me for tonight's event and tonight's conversation. I deem it a great honor. I don't remember how many of these conferences or programs I had the privilege to attend. In fact, this is the first time I'm actually addressing such magnitude of students after leaving university 30 years ago. And it's great to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity greatly. So thank you. You can see that I have a lot of sheets because I know I'm talking to students and professionals, so I want to be very careful. So please pardon me. My mandate this evening is to speak on transformative innovation for corporate excellence in uncertain times. I want you to watch this video.
We might want to avoid it during the pandemic. We all need to go get groceries, but going to the store can be a stressful experience.
Well, now a new type of store is hoping to get rid of all that by just throwing away the entire checkout process. Sloan Dickey shows us how it works.
The grocery store of the future,
high quality local products, organic,
might look pretty similar to the grocery store you shop at today.
all these products that our customers know and love, and so we're providing that in a convenient and accessible manner.
Ignore the hundreds of cameras on the ceiling, and Choice Market looks pretty much like your neighborhood bodega, minus one thing you might be used to.
Scan your QR code and then shop the store and walk out with no traditional checkout.
That's right, there's no checkout, no cash register when you leave.
There's going to be a transition, or I guess a learning curve, probably a better way to put it.
The process at Choice Markets is a little different than other stores. You start off by scanning a QR code in a check-in zone just like this. Then just like any other store, you grab your items off the shelf. And then unlike any other store, you just walk on out.
You'll get a receipt emailed and sent to your mobile app within minutes.
CEO of Choice Market, Mike Fogarty, calls it frictionless technology. New tracking software paired with 3D imaging allows customers to make transactions in real time at the shelf.
We have over 200 cameras, some that are tracking, the actual products, some that are tracking the individuals throughout the store.
This is artificial intelligence at work. The store knows the visual profile of each customer, along with the visual profile of each product.
All of our cameras are hardwired into this server stack here, and it's processing the images in real time.
Employees at Choice have spent months scanning each product in this box, then saving it to the store database. Sound like a bit too much information for your grocery store to have? Don't worry.
Is tracking you throughout the store, not based on facial recognition or anything. And so, the privacy piece is utmost importance.
And Mike says the tracking technology and AI in this store is the future of retail.
Now these are commonplace terms and features that, customers look for.
As we rebound from a difficult year in the coronavirus pandemic, safety is a priority.
This tech and this experience really provides a lot of value.
Stores like Choice Market are now banking on the hope that this technology will be the key to getting even the most pandemic petrified people back through the door. I'm Sloan Dickey, Denver 7.
So this is thinking tomorrow, today. Today we walk into shops, you go queue, and then you pay. The future says walk into the shop, pick the item, and just walk out, just by a scan. Convenience, satisfaction, order, no confusion. This is where the world is going. The question is, how are we shaping up our businesses and our organizations to meet the future, starting today? Ladies and gentlemen, businesses and organizations in general must adopt and evolve if they have to survive. That is a done deal. For any business to survive today, you necessarily must adopt and you must evolve. Why? Because you are working in an environment of competition. And where there's competition, we know that people come with superior products. Before anybody come into the market that you are, they come with superior products. They may come with higher technology, better than you have. They would have studied your operations, and therefore when they are coming in, they come in with superior things. And because of that, if you don't adapt and evolve, you are likely to lose your survival. On the other hand, the consumers that you serve as a customer, on the other hand, the consumers that you serve and the society for which you are offering the value proposition also consistently have their choices evolving. I guess the choices we made last year or 5 years ago are not the choices that you are making today. Simply because today we are more exposed, today we have more information by virtue of the internet, by virtue of the opportunity to travel around, by virtue of globalization, we are more informed today. Because of these two things, organizations don't have a choice, but they need to innovate. And as Charles Darwin said, and I quote, "It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change." So, organizations to survive don't have a choice, but must innovate. Today, the dinosaur is distinct, and I was surprised to hear that the dinosaur has been extinct for 66 years. But the ant and the snake today are still surviving. We still have them around us. Why? Because they have been very resilient and they have been very adaptive to their environment. A snake can live in water, can live in sand, name it, they will survive the day and the time. You can live with a snake in your house and you wouldn't even know for years. They have the ability to be resilient and to adapt to their environment. And so if businesses don't display the tenets of resilience and adaptability, you definitely will go distinct. How many of you recognize this? How many of you recognize this? So, have you seen the mobile phone? And those days, I remember my husband had one. He was then working with Mobitel, proudly having it on his side, feeling very besh. That was when Mobitel started. It was the order of the day. Today, if you give this phone to even your baby wouldn't want it. Nobody wants it. I remember back in university, what we knew were cassettes. That's what we knew. You will roll and roll and roll. If it goes over, then you put your hand in it, and then you roll it like that. And then we graduated from cassettes, and we went to DVDs. You just slip in the DVDs. And then we graduated to pen drive. The funny thing that happened to me, Prof, today, is I was looking for a pen drive in my office, and I couldn't get a single one. Amazing. I was looking for just a pen drive. I couldn't find it. Now what do we have? I mean, if I want to play music, I don't need to put in a DVD. All I need to just click a knob on my phone. And there I am. I'm in Apple Music. I have my playlist. I'm playing it, and I can connect everywhere. So really, the times and the seasons have changed. Today, in virtually every industry, not just, if you take the manufacturing industry, if you take the brewery industry, if you take the fashion industry, for every industry that you take, the dominant ones and the businesses that are surviving are a true test of resilience and adaptability. Let's look at these brands. Guinness. I was surprised to know that Guinness is 265 years. UPSA, yourself, 59 years. Nice. Toyota, 86 years. And where I come from, this year, Enterprise Insurance, that used to be my parent company, is celebrating 100 years of existence in Ghana. Certainly, this is a story of resilience and adaptability. As Christopher Freeman said, if you do not innovate, you will die. And I remember growing up an insurance company that talks about the cat has landed, Great Africa. Today they are nowhere. Is it because they failed to adapt? Is it because they were resilient? They did not understand the times and the seasons in which they were operating, and therefore they need to evolve with customers as they moved on. Ladies and gentlemen, for the purposes of this forum, let me borrow the definition of Scarborough and Cornwell 2016. Who said that? Innovation would imply, or simply is, the application of creative solutions to problems and opportunities that ends up enhancing people's lives. This is the whole bane of innovation. So you can only call something an innovation if that has ended up through you solving a problem that you face, or identifying an opportunity that there is and taking advantage of it. And the end result of that is you are enriching lives and creating value. You can only say innovation has happened when this actually has happened. And that is why we talk about transformative innovation. Let me be quick to say that innovation for everybody means different things. So if you go to an organization, the scientists will define innovation in a different way. The architects will define innovation in a different way. If you come to my company, my actual people will define innovation in a different way. My customer service people will define innovation in a different way, simply because of the different roles they have and the various perspectives from which they look at things. But in all of this, it is important to state emphatically that innovation is not a single action. Innovation is a total process of interrelated sub-processes. That is what innovation is. It's not a single action. And that is what I want to bring to the fore before I continue. So if you take innovation, it flows from the angle of an idea being birthed. But it doesn't end there. Because of what use is you birthing an idea and then you not conceptualizing it or inventing the idea. So you start from where you birth an idea, and then you go to the next phase where you invent. You bring in the invention that relates to the idea that you have. And then from the invention, you expect that the invention will lead you to a certain market value or a certain market opportunity that will then create a viable commercial proposition for you, the entity. Then the last phase of it is where now the benefit flows over from you, the primary innovator, to the entire market, ensuring and enriching the entire society's life. It is only when this has happened that you can say transformative innovation has happened. Otherwise, if in your mind you've come up with an idea and nothing happens, it's not innovation. So innovation is the interrelation of sub-processes that happen to a better end or to a good end. So if you can see from the slides that I have, it starts from where you bet the idea. So you bet the idea and now you get to the invention. So invention could be a product. That could be the idea. It could be a service innovation. It could be a process innovation. It could be a product innovation, and so on and so on. But like I said, after you have invented, the invention has happened, the solution, the product, the process change, whatever you do, the ultimate end is that it must bring you some commercial value. That is, you take this to market, it brings you a commercial value. And then it extends to the point where now there are primary beneficiaries of your invention. And this is where what we call transformative innovation. So I want to state that until wealth creation has happened, innovation has not happened. Let's look at two companies. How many of you remember the cocoa cane concept? I want to talk about the cocoa cane concept. So we are Ghanaians. We love our cocoa, isn't it? And unfortunately, the system was such that most of us could only enjoy our cocoa on Saturdays, really. Because weekdays, are you now going to wake up in the morning when you have to go to work and you are now going to queue for cocoa. So we had cocoa being served in calabashes, and then now it's moved on to cocoa being served. And today, I think that's what is happening. You go and buy cocoa, they wrap it in the rubber bag, and then you watch even how they do it. Sometimes you whether they are not even adding, whether you don't have hygiene issues. But look at somebody's idea. He says, how can I make this thing happen for people? So moves to a point where now they start capping cocoa in plastic, in disposable cups. Neatly done, well branded. And most of all, locate and place these as strategic places where you don't have to go queue. So you're on your way. I remember when I'm coming to work, Labadi, there's just a little store by the road. You see the lady standing there, and all you just have to say is cocoa, and they just walk to you and bring the cocoa to you. Now, once the idea was birthed, you realize that it extended beyond the originator, because now they were buying disposable cups. So people who were manufacturing disposable cups became automatic beneficiaries of someone's innovation. They were adding more milk. So the people who are making milk are now making more milk. The demand for milk has gone up. People who were frying fruit, now they were looking for more people to do that. So the value has been created, not just for the person who thought about the idea, to say, how do I make cocoa available to people in the easiest, simplest, most convenient of ways, make money for myself. But then the money didn't end there. It has, because now people are being recruited. Young people are being recruited who hitherto would have sat in their homes. Now they become employees. Drivers are being employed to go to strategic places to deploy the stalls that they use and then supply them with the food. And I remember when you go there, you see ice chests. So the demand for ice chests, people who are selling ice chests are also benefiting. This is what we call transformative innovation. Let me use the story of Enterprise Life and what we have done. When we came to the market, nobody knew about funeral insurance. By the way, is anybody here who has funeral insurance policy? Okay, that's nice. Good to know. So when we came, we identified a need. And what was the need? Anytime death occurs, people mourn and cry and are more distressed, not because of the death, but because of the cost, the associated cost. So instead of people crying and mourning the people rightfully, people were now looking at, where do I raise money? So people had to fall on their savings. And probably this could be savings that you are saving for, you are making for your children's education. You want to buy a plot of land, you want to do some investment, some expansion. Nobody saves for funeral. Is there anybody here who saves for funeral? Nobody. I mean, it's so morbid. It's something you don't gain. So nobody saves for it. So we identified the need. We thought about this. having seen me for 2 days. And you wouldn't even ask why you haven't seen me. This is the first time you are seeing me in the week. And you just go like, how many cases have you done? How many sales have you done? I have been sick for 2 days. I was sitting there quietly. And the lady walked out. So after I called her, I said, Nee, have you received a message? It's all about the target. It's all about the work, you know. Sometimes, especially in the heat of demands, when there's pressure on us, some business heads, we tend to lose it a little bit when it comes to feelings and the emotions. But sometimes we must be very careful. Make it, maybe the lady you are talking, like the example you gave, who comes in slightly, she doesn't care about, she's suffering, or there may be a problem she's going through that nobody knows about. You know, most of the time we are happy outward, but inside, people have issues. So leaders, please, let's look at people beyond work. That's what I would say.
Good evening. My question is regarding innovation. We said earlier innovation was much driven by individuals, but of recent times it's more driven by organizations. And I believe one of the reasons is the cost involved. Now we are looking at organizations also recouping investments they've made in innovations through the product or service they sell. Here is the case, like we said, you may introduce a technology and within a shorter period, it's obsolete, and you still need to recoup your investment. How do you manage cost of investment in innovation with product prices and service prices so that you're able to still sustain your business?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please have patience for me. My question, with all the innovation, the transformation and what at one side, we have ethics and integrity at the other side too. How do we as an individual, as we are trying to create and innovate, how do we align the creativity and that of ethics and integrity so that we can all feature the future that we are trying to picture? Thank you.
Good evening. I'm David. Madam, your presentation was very good. But with your experience so far, we've heard and we know a lot of colleagues who have conceived brilliant, innovative ideas, but they were all shut down. What do you think are the three main killers that makes the youth in Ghana today not to conceive any idea in the state we found ourselves? Thank you so much.
I think the first question was, how do you manage the speed with which technology is changing as you are making investments? Am I right? Well, what that means is that before you make the investment, you need to have delved deep to be sure that whatever you are deploying has some relevance, not just today, but tomorrow. So you are looking at today, taking actions today in the lens of tomorrow. And that should then influence what kind of technology you are deploying today. Because and another thing is, you also must look at best practices and research. Because what may be concrete today here, probably is so obsolete in even Nigeria. They've gone way past that. So if you are able to scan the environment, that is where the scanning comes in. You scan the environment and see what is in the environment before you deploy. It's like if I'm looking at a software today, I just don't develop the software based on my needs today. I develop the software based on where I see customers going. And that is why you need things like focus group conversations. You need to meet customers, have understanding. You are looking at the market for which you are deploying the service or the product. And you are looking at their need, not just today, tomorrow. And you are factoring that into the solution you are bringing in today. So by the time the solution becomes obsolete, you would have derived some value. And of course, you would have recouped your cost before you have to do the enhancements along the line. So you don't just get up and deploy anything because you want to do something. You make sure that there's a lot of knowledge that goes into it. And that is why I said the fact that today innovation, I think somebody asked that, innovation, or is you, innovation has now become, it's not more of an individual, it's because the cost of innovating today now is expensive. As a single person, you will not be able to do that. You need a lot of resources to help you do that. In the past, people could easily do that, but now you can't do that. You need to leverage, to be able to investigate, to be able to scan. It takes money to do that. If you need knowledge, it doesn't rest in just you, one person. You need to get the knowledge from different sources. It takes a lot of time and all. So invest in the work today. By the time it becomes obsolete, you would have recouped whatever investments you would have made. Did I answer your question? Good. Then I think the second question was, what I got from the question was the place of ethics and integrity in innovating. Am I right? Yes. You said ethics, how does ethics come in and integrity? Well, how do we align the two? I think that when I was speaking, I talked about one of the things causing uncertainties, and I talked about social responsibility. I don't know if anybody remembers that. I talked about social responsibility, and I talked about the fact that today, organizations are being compelled, all right, to be responsible to the environment in which they are doing business today. And I talked about now even organizations being compelled to be ESG compliant. Now everybody's talking about climate, everybody's talking about how you manage waste, and I want to believe that even in UPSA, you are not doing a lot of paper technology, you are using a lot more technology and all that. You have to be climate sensitive, and we are talking about responsibility. For example, if you look at the mines, now there's a cry on being socially responsible. And socially responsible means you have to have high levels of integrity. It means this is not just about you. You don't think about you just writing the profit, but how good is your work benefiting society and society at large? This is where ethics, this is where integrity comes in. Did I answer you? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time and presentation. Your slides are very engaging, and we've learned so much today. My question has a part 1 and B, but it's very brief. Part A is in relation to the concerns my colleagues raised. So in most organizations, what we have is people we can call gatekeepers, people who have seen the organization in several phases. They have the history, they have the knowledge, they understand the organization for a very long time. So when we come in as new people who have new ideas and can be said to be critical thinkers, I think the question is to be able to understand how we can work together with gatekeepers within both the public sector and the private sector, and ensure that we can be able to bring on board all the new ideas and creativity we have. Then in relation to that, on innovation, you mentioned in your presentation that enterprise, you have a framework that drive innovation. And clearly, we find ourselves in institutions that do not have that framework. So the question is, how can individuals, especially because you say organizations are the most risk source in terms of finances and capacity to drive innovation as compared to humans or individuals. So how can we, in organizations that do not have that framework, still be the spark or still be able to drive innovation within that context of lack of innovation framework for the individual? Thank you very much.
Hello. Yeah, good evening. Madam, when you were talking on innovation, you mentioned some factors that affect innovation, and one was technology, globalization, and social responsibility. If I may quote you right. So, but I have a question. And it's about what? Does population has a positive effect on innovation? Okay, thank you. Yes, that's my question. Great. Okay, there's another question there. Yes. Yeah, give him a chance to ask his question. Now be all.
Hello, Jacqueline.
Hi.
Thank you very much for honoring the time to come and speak to us this evening. During your presentation, you made mention that it's our time organizations focus on growth, long-term growth, and not short-term profitability. My question is, when you say organization, it is broad. We have levels, let's say startups, SMEs, MSMEs, and all of that. So what would be your advice to a startup company? Would you tell the startup to focus on long-term growth, or then focus on short-term profitability, because that would draw investors to invest in the startup? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. My dear, your question was around how do you manage the gatekeepers? Am I right? So, in every organization, no leader wants you to make them feel disrespected. Nobody wants that. Because they believe that there's a lot that they have brought to bear, reason for which the organization is what it is and where it is. So as young as you are, you come in, you have good ideas, you don't boss it around everybody. You have to find a way to win your boss. There's something called manage your superiors, you understand? And they most of the time are the gatekeepers you are talking about, isn't it? So you come in and you have an idea. There's a way you can engage. You go to your boss and say, look, I've thought about this problem. I think that I have found a solution around this. I think that this is the way we do this, but I'm thinking that probably if we could do it this way, this is the value that it will bring to us. In a way that does not make your superior feel that they don't know what they are about, where they are sitting. This is why sometimes most people tend to reject people. So don't let anybody kill your fire, but do manage such engagements in a meaningful way. Because even though the gatekeepers, they are there, and they may not be adding value and may not be questioning the status quo, they are still there. They are delivering some kind of results. So you who have come with your fresh energy and with your blood, bring it to bear in a meaningful way. Another thing you can do to win the gatekeepers is if you start within your circle of influence. So that when they look at you and they see what you do, it brings acceptability. I talked about acceptability and receptibility from these people. It's what they see you do that will also allow them to say, let me listen to this young lady. I think she has something to offer. But if even from where your center of influence, you are not showing any significance, then when you go to them and you are bringing anything of value, they really don't look at it. So most of the time, young people, when we are engaging as superiors with ideas, we have to do it in a way that does not make them feel they don't know what they are about. When you do that, they will throw you out. They won't even listen to you. That's what I think. And then you said you don't have a framework. So even if you don't have a framework, what do you do? Then it means you are doing it on ad hoc basis. What that means is that whatever you think you need to innovate around, I think most of the time it's best to put things on paper. In my organization, we do that a lot. You sit, an idea comes to mind, you just put your thoughts down in paper. This is what I see, this is what I think I need to do. And then you take it to the relevant people. Talk to the relevant people, the people who matter, the people who drive, who take the decisions. And take it to them in a way that they can appreciate. You don't go to them based on emotions. You go to them based on facts, based on data that you have gathered, based on information that you have, based on truths. And when you do that in a respectful way, I trust that you'll be able to get results from where you sit. Does that help? Then the other question was on, does population have a positive effect on innovation? Well, yes. I mean, I don't understand your question. Let me try to see if I understand your question. Is it when you have more people, are they able to innovate? Is that what you're asking? Or are you able to innovate things that will benefit a larger population? I mean, in which other way, I think it works. Because if, now if you look at our population dynamics, we have more young people. Our demographics show that we have a lot more young people showing up now. And I believe that young people are more dynamic, young people are more risk-taking, and therefore you see young people driving more innovation than older people. So that is what I would say, that the dynamics in the demographics tend to impact innovation. So let me give you a typical example. I said that enterprise insurance is 100 years this year. The company started in 1994, then somewhere 1924, then somewhere in 1995, some shareholders bought over the business. At the time, out of the over 100 employees, only 2 were graduates. Most of them were old people. They took a decision to innovate around the people. Found a way of getting the old people out and bringing in young, fresh graduates. And that propelled and changed the growth of enterprise insurance to today as it sits as a market leader. So definitely in terms of the demographics, young people certainly are more aggressive. Young people, are risk takers. And therefore, the younger the population, the younger the greater the likelihood of you seeing innovation being driven. In fact, I went somewhere, I won't say where, but I went somewhere and I said, hey, tell her the lecturers now are young. You don't see old, you see a lot of. And when you see that, you see a lot of vibrancy within the organizations. Am I lying? Is the truth. So where there's youthfulness, you see vibrancy, you see innovation. So the demographics of a population can impact innovation happening or not. The last one is, as a short-term company, why should I not focus on profit but look at growth? Let me tell you, the truth is that when investors are looking to invest in an organization, what they look at is they look at potential. You may not be making profit today, but if the strategic direction, they are aligned to the strategic direction and they can see the long-term benefit and growth, you may be making losses today, but they still be willing to invest in your company. You see, when you become profit-oriented from the beginning, then you even tend to have issues of ethics, integrity, and running business in a professional way. But when you have, but why did you set up the business? You want a business that is sustainable, right? And any business that is sustainable means you don't do things anyhow. You have to be intentional about how you respond to your customers. You have to be intentional about your processes and your effectiveness as an organization. So even if you are a setup, try and start operating on the right premises and on the right protocols. Yes, you need profit. You are investing money into it and you want a return. But a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one day. You may be making losses today, but if you keep at it, do the right things, think about long term, and innovate, do things differently, consistently, responding to market need. It's just a matter of time. You break even, and then you see the potential just coming forth. But always remember that investors, when they are investing in any company, people buy companies that are making losses, and they're able to turn them around completely. So don't worry about making losses today and thinking that you may not get an investor. It's driving the right behaviors and having the strategic vision, the strategic goal. And believe you me, any investor who sees the end is likely to buy into you and invest into you. So long-term growth must always be the focus, never short-term profits. Thank you.